Back on June 5th, 2024, can you remember where you and your loved ones were? This is P. Francis McNichol, and I'm currently at the home where I was raised to fly and soar and explore this great land I call my soul. And as a child, with much time on my hands, I roamed this entire park called Lake Accotink, located at 7500 Accotink Park Road in Springfield, Virginia. Born and raised here, its gloomy reputation is not well known. Well, not as much as the flowering children that reside in Ravensworth Farms neighborhood to the side there, just beyond the woods, over 50 years ago. I guess I'm here to discuss the mystique and all the grandeur this area brings to a child hearing ghost stories, and humane and human innuendo that a child can only wonder about in life. Being raised on the lake just beyond the dam there, just beyond this large trestle which is 70 feet high. Being raised on the lake, every nook and cranny has been examined and trudged through. Watching the banks flow over when fishing, to experiencing droughts and putrid summer days that never ended when swimming up there beyond the dam, beyond the lake, in the area they called the swamp. And with that, the child's dreams and fears would widely roam when left alone to provide for his own education about the world around him. The world was such a wonderful place back then, and the fear and the lurking mystery was just that, a journey into the unknown. And in some ways, as the children played, the children understood the finality of life better than most of our elders. And she waited for my return. And she has more added on to her entourage of lives taken. June 5th, taking 3 lives that dared pass over her trestle, a trestle that has added to that mystery ever since the Civil War, and even before that with the first settlers and landowners, trading with the Algonquian Indians at Accotink Creek. And this time, upon my return, there are 3 more lives that ran the trestle's tracks and tragically failed and are no longer with us. On June 5th, 2024, a man and his lady friend, along with her son, Eli, crossed the train tracks right there in front of me and could not beat the train over to the other side. And when it was said and done, the man was hit by the train and killed instantly. And the mother and child jumped to their death 70 feet to avoid being hit by the train. Why does anyone do anything? Why take such a haphazard chance? Was this a planned death, if not suicide? In the end, no one relishes the macabre or countless lists of death that become us, that resonate with our own mortality, our own spirits, that leads to questions asking why. And how do we bear such stockade called the loss of life? And yet we cannot fathom the instant, we cannot fathom the sequence of events leading up to anyone's unfortunate and unforeseen death. We cannot fathom the loss until it happens to us, and we are forced to reflect on the bizarre nature of our most bitter angels. And we shed a tear, and I shed a tear, for we know not an answer. Their souls who we are, and they still close. Rest in peace. Dominus vobiscum, Sir Diego, Ma'am Geraldine, and son, Eli, age 8. Right over there through those woods or the Accotink Creek, it eventually goes down past Old Keymell Road and turns into what is called Pohick Creek. Historically, there were some deaths also at Pohick Creek over the years from about 100 years ago. As I walk through the park, this train trestle we played on as kids, and there are signs that used to be there going up there where that walkway is. Warning, do not play on the tracks. We as kids did not listen, and we had fun. We put quarters and nickels and coinage on the tracks. This walkway right here is brand new, a couple years old. It goes completely over and continues around the lake. It used to go right down there, and it would spill over, and people would run through the water with their bikes and everything. Maybe they broke up the concrete. Really beautiful. It happens to be a rainy day today, and the lake is just beyond the dam. But this bike path right here goes around the lake that way to the marina and all the way to Ravensworth. Imagine being a kid coming down here. This place was known for really big carp and catfish, and the lake is right on top. All the way up there. All the way up there in those distant weeds and trees, that's where the lake opens up. And we call the swamp. I'm going to take a walk. Unfortunately, where they put the memorial, they have since taken the memorial for the 3 that lost their life in 2024. It was right around here, judging by photographs. Big sign right there. But if they were on this side, it was a short distance they would have had a long way to go to the end. Where Diego and Geraldine and Eli were. So they were probably on that side and couldn't make it to the end right here, where you see the embankment is. There it is. We're up high enough. The beautiful Lake Accotink. All of us kids in Ravensworth Farms just past those woods over there to the right enjoyed as children. And my heart goes out to Diego's and Geraldine's and Eli's family for their loss. It's tragic. Right up through those woods right there. It goes up a hill and there's a path where the fence, it should be like Corgram or whatever it's called, reinforced steel, right at the edge of these tracks so no one can get to it, going down about a mile on both sides of the track. That would keep people, like a retaining wall you see on a highway. That would save kids from running up there and people running up there on this side. And do it on that side of the tracks too, headed towards the marina up the path there, right beside that service road. They've never thought that far ahead, and the railroad companies do not want to pay for that. They don't want to pay for a chain link fence because it costs them money. Let alone, oh wow, here comes the calling card of death. I love the trains. I will always love the trains coming down here. That's an Amtrak right there. Going about 60 to 70 miles an hour. So anyways, I was alerted about this story because I'm a historian about Lake Accotink, and my eventual movie, if funded, Deaths at the Lake, will highlight all this and all the history. And I still seek funding. I'm still holding out hope. My COVID lungs do not like the moisture out here on a really kind of humid and putrid, it's really kind of a cool, humid day. Really beautiful. You can imagine kids running around all over here. That parking lot has been there for maybe 45 years, but it was much smaller 50 years ago. Coming through this back way. We came that way by the marina from the Ravensworth development side, and like I said, it's to the right of the beautiful lake. So much history in making this lake, and all the people that have left their lives basically here by passing or unfortunate deaths. And it's not to be macabre about the loss of life. It's just a beautiful place where, unfortunately, there's that nexus between the loss of life and also the youth enjoying learning about the world around us in this big parkland. And this is just a small microcosm of Lake Accotink. This nice walkway is very needed, and it's new, and it looks kind of aesthetic. But what they have to do is go to the lake and dredge it, excuse me. And they need to make the lake a fishery again. I don't know about the fish biology right now. I know we fish for every kind of fish you can think of. catfish stripers, or I want to say those silver fish, bluegills, eels, fish, lake turtles, you name it. There was everything here in this ecosystem that is just really beautiful. Look how high that is. My condolences to the guys who passed here. The unfortunate thing is, back in, I want to say 4 decades ago, there was many people, my generation, who knew of the lake and did outings with family and schools and stuff like that, and field trips. And on their off time, instead of taking drugs to end their lives, see up there? I could crawl up there in less than 2 minutes and sit on the side of the train trestles with my, I used to, 50 years ago, right there where you can just make out 2 pipes going around that concrete slab. All our friends would sit there with our bikes on the ground and eat snacks we got from the marina, and we would just wait for the train to come. Like I said, my soul is here. I can't explain it. It's just not memories of a beautiful place. But they really beautified this area with that walkway. So, this is P. Francis McNichol, guys. Thank you, and have a great day. Signing off.